Now, in this presentation, I'm going to give you the definitions loosely of what the path is all about, but I'm also going to tell you how you can use these paths in your everyday life. Now, I'm not going to go into every single one of them because there are 6. There's a lot of points to cover, but you can take notes. You can write down the points as I go through them, and I'll give you enough time to at least make some notes. But this dynamic leadership path, if you enroll in this one, it's going to help you to become a stronger communicator. It's going to help you by crafting purposeful speeches and using vocal variety to help you present ideas clearly at work, in community meetings, in your personal life, or your professional life. So already you're seeing how this path can help you with even job interviewers in your personal life, how it's going to help you with those. And then it helps you also with effective leadership. Anybody in this room wants to be a leader, right? So this is the path that's going to help you one of the paths that's going to help you to become a more effective leader by understanding leadership and communication styles, not just your communication style. Because while it's important for you to understand your communication style, it's also important to understand other people's communication styles so that you can be able to communicate effectively with others. It's also going to help you to manage teams, delegate tasks, and motivate diverse groups. Now, in my line of work, I am often in the front of persons I don't know, strangers, who are meeting me for the first time and they don't know anything about me. But being able to apply the skills that I've learned in Toastmasters and in the path that I chose, it makes it easier for me to communicate with persons from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, whether they're a doctor or a lawyer, or they are a layman, or they work at a fast food restaurant. My enrollment in the Pathways program has allowed me to be able to bridge the gaps between all different people from all walks of life. It also helps you with problem solving and negotiating. Skills like negotiating outcomes and managing change prepare you to handle workplace conflicts, which I'm sure most of us encounter, business deals, or even family decisions. How many married people in the room? Yeah. Awesome. We have a path for that. This isn't that one. So this one is one of my personal favorites, engaging humor. Engaging humor. A lot of people are afraid of humor because they think they're not funny. They think they're not humorous. So they try to stray away from engaging humor. However, engaging humor allows you to discover and develop your sense of humor, learn to connect with audiences, and master using humor in speeches. And this phase ends with a fun, extended, humorous presentation. Now, this path is a great path for developing better communication skills. Why? Because learning to use humor and vocal variety helps you to connect with coworkers, clients, or friends, making conversations and presentations more engaging. It also builds confidence in any situation. Toastmaster Mayor Pearson said earlier that he saw me tell a joke at a funeral. And I was kind of odd to him. But just last week, at distinguished Toastmaster J.C. Sweeting's funeral, if any of you were in attendance, you saw distinguished Toastmaster Carlos Palacios give a presentation where he injected humor in that presentation. What he was able to do was, in an environment where everybody was solemn and sad, he injected a level of excitement and happiness that we were able to connect with him and also remember the fun times that the family had with their loved one who had passed on. A week or two before that, I was the moderator at the funeral for Toastmaster Duran Hume's mother. And although there was a lot of crying and weeping in the room, and the room was it felt very, very sad and down, I was able to inject humor to cause the audience to feel a little bit better during their time of grief. So by injecting humor, even in sad situations, even in a situation where it may be an argument or conflict, you're able to lighten the mood in the room to get your audience to be more comfortable. Influence and impact. Mastering humorous delivery teaches you to deliver serious messages in a relatable way. It also helps you to make your ideas more persuasive and memorable in both professional and personal settings. Sometimes my wife is pissed at me for whatever reason. I'm usually doing everything right, but in her eyes, I'm usually I'm right and she is wrong. But if you let her tell it, she is always right and I'm always wrong. And sometimes when we're having our conversations, I have to inject some humor to lighten the mood, because if I don't, she can run away with the whole conversation, and I'm the Toastmaster. So by even when the environment is tense, or if there's a conflict, by injecting a little bit of humor, you can lighten the mood and get from one point to the next one without it being a fight or a larger conflict. So get comfortable with using humor in your presentations. The next one is motivational strategies. Any motivational speakers in the room? Soon. When I ask this question again a few months from now, we're going to see more hands. But motivational strategies is a presentation, as a path that helps you to build your communication and leadership skills. It will also help you to learn to inspire groups of people, and this will finish with a team building project that combines speaking, motivating, and leading effectively. Now, in a real life situation, this path would look something like, last week, we had the Neil Besendi Back to School Jamboree. And in that Back to School Jamboree, there was something called the Knowledge Pavilion, courtesy of the distinguished Toastmaster Franklin Winder, who was the originator of the Knowledge Pavilion. So I believe that his vision for the Knowledge Pavilion was that when we speak to the children of the Union Village community, we would inspire and motivate them. Correct? And because of what we've learned in Toastmasters, members were able to go out there and meet the community where they are. Regardless of our backgrounds, we were able to connect with the members of the community of Union Village and motivate and inspire from the children go up. This motivational strategy helps you to create stronger relationships, leadership and motivation, and lastly, confidence in public speaking. Something all of us wish we had, because we all want to motivate somebody, whether it be ourselves, because believe it or not, motivation doesn't start from the outside. Motivation starts from within. So by you motivating yourself, it can help you to motivate others. Next, we have persuasive influence, something I use every day at work. Every day. I have to persuade, if any of you are in leadership and you have staff that are under you or staff that you work along with, you have to use persuasive influence every day. Because as a leader, your job is to have a vision and get others to act on your vision to get it to be successful. They have to buy in. So you're a salesperson selling your vision to them so that they can actually work to achieve the goal. Persuasive influence. This persuasive influence path develops communication, leadership, and negotiation skills. You're going to have to negotiate with your employees to get the jobs done. This is seen the most of this is seen is in Toastmasters, because in Toastmasters, as an executive member, as a president, as an executive with a committee, this is your first training ground. You're going to have to first of all, the president has to get his executives to carry out his goals, his mandates, the club's mandates, Toastmasters International's mandates. You as a leader on your job, as a manager, supervisor, as a father in your home, as a husband, are going to have to get your family to carry out your mandates. So by using persuasive influence, you can get these things done. Leadership in challenges. Understanding leadership styles. Understanding, first of all, your own leadership style will allow you to understand others' leadership styles. Because two leadership styles can cause conflict. If you have your leadership style and somebody else has another leadership style, their leadership style can dictate how they want to be led. So if you cannot master your leadership style and be cognizant of others' leadership styles, you could find yourself in problems. And then your negotiation and problem-solving skills will have to be developed as well from this path, because practicing innovative solutions and high-powered leadership prepares you to negotiate agreements, solve real-world problems, and guide teams toward positive outcomes. Presentation mastery. Now, this presentation mastery path is another good one because it helps you to develop public speaking skills. You'll learn to read an audience. Sometimes in Toastmasters, we don't know if our audience is enjoying our presentation or not. And if you're giving a presentation on Zoom, it's even worse because most people have their cameras off. So how do you feed off the energy of somebody who has their camera off? How do you feed off the energy of somebody who is not responding or reacting to your presentation? How do you feed off how do you feed off a room that is giving you no energy? This is the path for you. The second point, connecting with people. This path will teach you how to connect with people, because connecting with people allows you to look at the different nuances that make people originals, right? It helps you to see when somebody is really listening. If they're looking you straight in your eye, they're not blinking, it tells you that they're focused on you. But if I'm talking to you and your head is down in your phone, I have lost connection. There's no eye-to-eye contact. Someone could be at the back of the room, right? I can see Brennan looking down on his phone, but if I call his name, he has to react, because it's impossible for me to call his name where he knows I'm talking about him and him not react. Now, whether he makes eye contact with me or not is not important, because his brain is connected with me. I know he's listening. Regardless of what his wife is saying to him on that phone, he is listening to me. Toastmaster Eddie too. Tap Toastmaster Brennan on the shoulder and say, I know you listening to Poitier. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to skip past because I see the VPAE is giving me the VPM is giving me the sign. I want to show you this. First of all, a Chinese philosopher by the name of Lao Tzu, my trainer, once said to me, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Gentlemen, I know most of you in the room have already made that first step. But there are some of you who made the first step or haven't made the first step, but you still don't have a direction. Your first step should be this: logging into the Toastmasters.org website. Because I've already told you what the paths are. I've told you how you can apply them to real-life situations. But you now have to make a step to select one of these paths. To do that, you have to log on to the website. Then you have to use your credentials, your email address, and your password to log in to the actual site. Then you have to take a look at the path so you can select one, or you can allow the Pathways program to select one for you based on an assessment. And then choose an actual path and begin your journey. For those of you who have not seen, Mr. Sergeant Adams, handle that for me, please. For those of you who have not seen the breakdown of a path, this is what it looks like. This is one. This is dynamic leadership. So you will notice that there are 5 levels. Level 1, mastering fundamentals. This is specific to this path. Mastering fundamentals. You're going to have an icebreaker. You're going to write a speech with purpose. Introduction to vocal variety and body language, evaluation and feedback. And this is common with most paths. And then you start to get some variation as you go down to the other levels. And lastly, gentlemen, if you find a path that has no obstacles, more than likely, you're on the wrong path. There's no path that is a good path for you that won't have some obstacles. If there's no path, make one. Now I won't go into my final thought on the page, but my final thought to you is, you've already made a decision to become a Toastmaster, or you're making a decision to become a Toastmaster. Don't squander the opportunity of being where you are today, because it could inhibit you from becoming the person that you will be tomorrow. The path you choose today will allow you to traverse life to become that person. You have help. You have the vice president education. You have the vice president membership. You have the vice president education who has a team ready and prepared to guide you to achieving your goals. You have to decide which path you want to go on, what your goals are, and once you decide that, sit down and speak to the vice president education and his team so they can help to chart a course, a trajectory for you to become successful in your goals. With that being said, this ends my presentation, and I open the floor, if I may, to any questions. Do we have a question and answers after? Okay, so that ends my session. It's not moving anymore. I need to go some more. Oh, there you go. Thank you very much for your participation. It was wonderful. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President Membership.